This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the morning of Thursday, September 5th, 2024. I'm Alex Brown. Mainstream Fiber Networks has completed $1.5 million in renovations to its Brown County headquarters. The company says it has also added nearly 50 jobs across its Indiana footprint, ranging from frontline to executive positions, including Chief Commercial Officer Jeff Marston.
You can see the tangible investments just by going down to Brown County, but also in other parts, we're developing operations in a lot of these new markets and footprints that we're in. This is a substantial investment. I mean, in the hundreds of millions of dollars just in the coming years. But our mission hasn't changed. Our charge is to go into the areas that are underserved, where they need the economic development, where the businesses need fiber optic services, where they need those products and services to attract businesses and families into these communities. So none of that has changed for us. In fact, we're going to go to the hardest places to deliver fiber services.
Mainstream Fiber said in addition to this investment, the company has added nearly 1,500 miles of fiber infrastructure across its footprint. The South Bend Common Council has approved a 5-year tax abatement for Hoosier Tank and Manufacturing, a manufacturer of steel air reservoirs for the heavy-duty truck and trailer market. The company says it will invest $4 million to add a new production line and add more than a dozen jobs. Indiana Members Credit Union has signed a lease to take the lion's share of remaining office space in the second phase of the BottleWorks District development in downtown Indianapolis. The credit union will move its headquarters to about 74,000 square feet at BottleWorks, which is set for completion in 2025. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
IBJ Media, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indiana Economic Development Corporation invite you to the Engage Indiana series, presented by CareSource, Indiana University, and Old National Bank. With an unrelenting focus on growing Indiana's economy, we'll dive into each region's unique challenges and distinct opportunities for growth. 9 regions, 1 goal. Indiana's bold future starts here. Discover more and register at ibj.com/engage.
President Joe Biden is preparing to announce that he will formally block Nippon Steel's proposed $14.9 billion acquisition of U.S. Steel. Here's Gary Dick.
The decision would be a stunning rejection of a deal proposed by Japan that became a major political controversy ahead of the November election. The proposed acquisition has been under investigation by the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States. A White House official declined to comment, but said in a statement the committee had not yet transmitted its recommendation to the president. The deal would create the third largest global steel maker in a bid to compete with Chinese rivals on a global stage. Last week, Nippon Steel increased its planned investment in the new U.S. Steel by $1.3 billion. The Japanese company said the extra money would improve 2 of U.S. Steel's largest facility, the Mon Valley Works in Pennsylvania and Gary Works in Indiana. Nippon said it planned to spend $300 million to revamp blast furnace number 14 at Gary Works, extending the facility's life by 20 years. More than 4,500 steelworkers are employed at the 2 facilities, including more than 2,200 in Gary. On Wednesday, U.S. Steel CEO David Burritt warned that the deal's collapse would put at risk thousands of good-paying union jobs and raise serious questions about the likelihood that the company would remain headquartered in Pittsburgh. This is Gary Dick for Inside Indiana Business Radio.
The Indiana Department of Education on Wednesday announced the 3 finalists for the 2025 Indiana Teacher of the Year Award. They are Chet Dixon, who teaches special education, business management, reading development, math remediation, algebra, and geometry at Mooresville High School, as well as Ellie Minogue, a 4th and 5th grade teacher at Klondike Elementary School in West Lafayette, and Graciela Miranda, an English language learning teacher at Pike High School in Indianapolis. The winning teacher is expected to be announced at the end of the month. The 2025 Indiana Teacher of the Year will represent Hoosier teachers at the national level. AES Indiana President Brandy Davis Handy is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.